Play this interview with this family, because this is not future news. This is happening now in California. A family that lost their child to the state for 2 weeks as the state kicked down their doors and just took the child.
There's got to be something that I'm missing here, because the state said that you were engaging in severe neglect. Do you have any idea what that might be? Any idea?
When I heard this word, because I'm from Germany and I live here only 7 years, for me it's like, what is that? So when I've been talking on the phone and I'm like, can you explain to me what that word is? All I got was saying that I took my child, he was in an emergency station, he was almost dying, and I wouldn't care about my child.
Okay, first of all, I should have started with this, but how is Sammy now?
He's doing good, he's smiling. You should have seen him yesterday when we woke up in the hospital. He was sleeping. By the time he opened his eyes were so big. He was surprised to see all these people around, the family members, ours. And then when he had to go to sleep in the evening, usually he goes at 9 o'clock. That would not work. It was 10 o'clock. It was 11 o'clock.
There's nothing that either one of you guys you're not denying medical care or anything. You just wanted a second opinion. You know, if doctors agree that, you know, you have to do it, you're willing to have medical care.
Yes. Of course, that's what we wanted.
Let me make this really clear. The parents have been really wonderful parents and have done everything that could possibly have been asked of them. The only issue in this matter was the doctor who was providing care for him at Sutter. They didn't like him. Well, he was too pushy. He was too aggressive, and they wanted a second opinion.
Are you planning on making the state of California, I'm asking this to the attorneys, more bankrupt than they already are?
I think you can rest assured that's something that will be taken care of.
Good.
This is a county-based litigation, Glenn, but it will probably have an impact someday.
It is truly remarkable. What is the next step in this?
So the most important step is, as far as the child is, we get him transferred to Stanford Hospital, where he gets reviewed by a doctor of the parents' choosing, not by that of the state. And we get him evaluated, and we see exactly when this surgery needs to take place.
Now, see, she didn't. As I watched that, and I watched, and obviously you can't see, you just hear her, and she doesn't really even respond to the question about whether or not California is going to pay for this. I didn't think she handled that inappropriately.
I think that, you know, here they are, and the interview goes on, and you can watch it now at TheBlaze.com. I urge you to watch last night's episode. Really important. Don't watch it. Just do yourself. Watch it as a signpost.
But were you uncomfortable with her?
You know, no. Here's where I was initially uncomfortable. She comes on television and she's wearing like a black dress, and it's kind of a short black dress, but she lives in California. And, you know, just as a PR person, I said to myself, honey, bring the skirt down a little bit. You know what I mean?
She's been on several interviews, and
and she's a good-looking woman, and she's, you know, whatever. But that's personal choice, and that we should not be worried about things on the way people appear on television. But that is part of it, and I'm watching this.
Perception is reality to people, and that's the problem. It's from a PR standpoint only. You're talking
from a PR standpoint. So I'm seeing that, and then I see her smile, and inside I think, okay, you shouldn't smile. Again, PR, you shouldn't smile. Don't smile on that. Just as PR, but those are all the wrong reasons to say these things. I think.
But again, I would.
And the reason
I think
I would have too. But here's why I say I was concerned about the PR, because I don't want people to be able to have the easy out on this. Yeah. What they'll do is, well, she's probably a bad mom anyway. I mean, look at the way she's dressed. So that's the reason why I thought about the skirt. Don't do that. You need to look like everybody's all-American.
Don't give them any reason anything bad about you.
Yeah, give them every reason just to focus on the story. And the second part is, don't smile at that, because people say, see, she's going to want the money. They're only doing this for money. No, they took this couple's child, and they said that they were being grossly negligent because they walk into the hospital room. Their child has a heart condition. They already had a doctor. The doctor said, don't do this surgery Other doctors will tell you, and they had other doctors tell them, you should have surgery. Another doctor said, don't, because let the child, he's only 5 months old, let him get a little bit older. His body will be stronger. He has a better chance of survival. They say, okay. The kid gets flu-like symptoms. They bring him into the hospital. They do a checkup. The doctor says, well, he's got a heart condition. Yeah, we know he has a heart condition. Well, you got to have that checked right away. Well, we have had that checked right away. You got to get him into surgery. The kid has to be in surgery right now. No, we don't want to do that. Doctor walks out. Nurse comes in. She starts injecting the child. And mom says, what are you doing? What are you giving the child? The nurse's quote was, I don't know. The doctor just told me to give it. Take the damn needle out of my child. What do you mean you don't know what you're giving my child? You didn't talk to me about giving my child anything.
And it turned out to be antibiotics, which it wasn't supposed to receive, right?
Right. And so now they have no trust for this doctor or this hospital. And the doctor is like, no, you're not checking out. The kid needs to go. So they take the child and they leave with the child. Now, they don't go home. They go to another hospital.
They went to Kaiser Permanente, which is, another reputable place.
It's not like, if that's not negligent. Those are two good parents. They don't trust, and so they get out of that hospital and they go to another hospital and they say, look, we just want to make sure. Could you check our child out? They were giving him antibiotics. They didn't even tell us. They're telling us that we need to have. The doctor's like, no, you guys are right. Relax. Call me in a couple of days. The baby's going to be fine. By the time they leave, this is how efficient California is. Because imagine going to the emergency room in California. How long did that take? Then seeing the doctor, then seeing all the test results. Then they leave. That's when the police arrive. And the police say, where's the child? We just got a call from the first hospital. First hospital called and said they just absconded with this child. You've got to find them. They go to the Kaiser Permanente and say, where's the child? They talk to the doctor, and the doctor's like, no, the child's fine. They were absolutely right on what they did. I saw the child. They're fine. Police say, totally cool. Not good enough for the first hospital. So the first hospital calls the state and says, we have probably negligent parents. And so then they kick the door down. And a judge has to decide, here's a 5-month-old. In the care of whom? The state? For 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'd go crazy. And so when I saw this and I saw her smile, I thought, please don't do that. When I saw the dress, I thought, don't do that. Because you'll immediately have people dismiss this, because no one wants to think that our government would just go into somebody's house without a warrant and take your child. But it is happening here in America.
And we have the audio. Here's exactly what happened. It's 3 seconds worth of audio. You hear the whole thing going down.
So I'm gonna grab your baby and don't resist and don't fight me, okay?
I'm gonna grab your baby. Don't resist. Don't fight me, okay?
That's crazy.
No, that's not okay.
But what are you going to do?
I'm afraid I'd fight him.
You better not. You better not. And here's why. It will make your case a living hell.
Yeah.
Then they'll say, and he struck out and violent. We were just coming in, and nobody in this administration, nobody in the. I mean, how many people on a jury today are going to say, oh well, he's a Christian, so we know. Here in California, he's a Christian. He's a Mormon.
It is.
So you know how crazy those people are.
It's getting tougher to trust the system, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And once we lose faith in the system, it is over, gang. We have to find trust in each other. Please join us this summer. I'm sorry to say that. Believe me, I'm not making money on this event this summer. Believe me, I'm not making money on this event. It is important that we redesign Independence Week, that we instill these things into our children. Pat is the only one that knows the ending of Man in the Moon. And it's not easy. It's easy to make me cry. I made him cry twice on the ending. It is my job is to keep people awake and keep the light inside of them burning for just a little while longer, as long as we can possibly do it. That is my new job and my new goal. And this one is so important, and I'd love to have your family there. It's a week where you can see unbelievable historic stuff in a museum that we're putting together that week. You'll be able to learn about education, about about families, and we've got experts coming in from all over the country to talk about schooling and Common Core. Freedom Works is going to be there studying civil rights and the Constitution. All these things are happening. Please check it out at glennbeck.com. It's Man in the Moon Independence Week in the Mountain West.